people. This week we're going to cook up a lasagna. Should be pretty good, I think. So a few new things. We're going to cook it up in this little beauty. So these are what they call a Gastronome size tray. This is something we're looking at the moment. The beauty of it, you can get these resealable lids, so if you don't eat a whole lasagna or you've got other things, you can just put it in there, seal it up in the fridge. It's solid, it's stainless steel, it's not going to rust, corrode or anything like that, and you can cook with it. So even the silicone around the edge is rated at 180 Celsius, so it gives us some good flexibilities. Okay, straightforward. Cheese, meat, we're going to use roux mince. I like roux mince, it's quite a nice flavour once you put it into a lasagna. Nice straightforward passata. We've got some bechamel sauce, onions, garlic, carrots, some sweet potato, a few different tin stuff here, some mushies, and some diced tomatoes we're going to mix in there. And then we've got some other things, you know, just some corn kernels and some cauliflower and kale. It really doesn't matter what you put in the mince, it's your flavour. There is a key to making the mince really full of flavour, and that's to let it simmer for a long time. Let those flavours get into the meat itself. It makes a big difference. We've got the carrot and some sweet potato cut up here. We've got the onions diced up, it's about to cook it up. Going to just brown these up a little bit. Then I'm going to add half a kilo of the mince here. And once that's started to brown properly, carrot and sweet potato in, get that simmering. Once I've got that comfortable, then I'm going to add some passata and the tomatoes, the beans and the mushrooms. I am going to put a little bit of Dijon mustard in there, probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then we're going to put it in there and bake it for 35-40 minutes or something. Onions are starting to brown. So we're going to use the Force 10 oven this week. As I think I've gone through a few things, you know, the beauty of these is this, it hides that, gets that away, and you've got good, clean, open space. You're not restricted getting in and out of the thing. All right, let's add some mince. This jar, just break the mince up and get it to brown up. One thing you keep in mind with roux mince, it's quite a lean meat, so there's not a lot of fat in there. So not a lot of fat will leach out and keep the pan oiled. So every now and then you may just have to give it a little bit more oil. So olive oil or canola oil, it's cooking oil. As you can see, it's coming really good there. So it's nice and brown. The onion mixed in there. So we'll add a bit of the passata now and get that Italian, because we are eating Italian. I don't want it sloppy. Some herbs. Not a lot of lemon juice, just a little bit. A little bit of tang. Some Dijon mustard. Roughly two tablespoons. And this, I would suggest probably a cup. That's about it. The other thing about letting it simmer for so long, it gets thicker, which is what we want. Some mushrooms. These are in a butter sauce, so the butter sauce is fine. It's about a whole tin's worth there. Add these veggies. So these are crisp vegetables, so it'll take a little while for them to soften up a bit. Now the good gear. The garlic. This week I've got the garlic press. Got sick of dicing garlics. Strongly recommend if you use garlic a lot. Get this garlic mixed in there. Okay, so now we're just going to let that simmer away for a few hours. Let's get this cracking. We're just going to start putting this into here, just like this. So we've got a layer of beef to start with, and a layer of pasta. So nice and slow. It's not very thick. just in there. All right, now we want some sauce. Again, you don't do a thick layer. You just want just a layer just to get some flavours going in there. Add some of this stuff. Right, again, just a light layer. Sneaky way to get the veggies in the kids. On, and obviously a little bit of garlic aioli. Not a lot, it's just a light little flavour, and that'll seep into it as we push down on it, okay? Pasta sheets. Another layer of meat. So we've got our second layer of meat in there now. Now, I like mozzarella on top, but I also like the flavour of parmesan in the middle there. Last layer of vegetable. We want a bit thicker layer this time. Sneak a few more veggies in there. Now sometimes what I do is I mix in nuts into the meat as well. Depends on the texture you like. A little bit of light layer of this. Parmesan. Not as much parmesan on this layer. A little bit of that flavour, then we'll start to. Not far off ready. We'll whack some mozzarella straight up. So that's what we got. That's how you still feel the heat in it from the from the fry pan. So now we're going to get this into the oven. We're going to crank the oven up to 180 and let it heat up, and then we're going to plonk this in. Once I've finished cooking, particularly with these fry pans, I like to, I don't wash it in soapy water, I just rinse it off and put it back on the fry pan, particularly when you're doing lasagna or minces. They tend to draw a bit of the oil out of the pan itself, so I like to actually put it back on there, and before I put it away, just warm it up, spray it with some oil, and then I put it away. Okay, that oven's warmed up now. I'm just going to slip this in. We'll whack it on timer and come back shortly, have some tucker. Now, what I've got is, so one of the things that I've learned about cooking with if the temperature tells you 180, so I'll say 180, but you need to add basically 10% in time and 10% in. I'm just going to check this and see how we go. You can see it browning a little bit more on the back, so I'm just going to throw some mozzarella cheese and let that melt across it, and then we'll give it another 10 minutes, we'll be done. Well, that's going to be delicious. Just for this last little 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes, I've just turned the oven right up, it'll heat up, and I want that cheese to really melt and get that little bit of bubbling going on it. Oh yeah, got that lovely crispy on the top. You can still hear it crackling away. Oh, it's going through nicely. Yeah, that's cooked really nicely. I can attest to it. That's just itching to get into this. We'll talk to you later. Cheers.